It is Sunday, February 22nd, and even though it's Sunday, and it may seem like there's not much to talk about over the weekend, there actually is a decent amount that I wanted to get to, which is why I started recording this video. But first off, if you guys want to know what Pepsi dividends sound like, oh yeah. It's that new Pepsi prebiotic cola at Kroger. But anyways, this past week, I was actually up, surprisingly, 1.88%. I know a lot of people were break even or whatever because the market was choppy, it was up and down. So a lot of people are sideways as far as I know on X. But surprisingly, I was actually up almost 2%. Past month, I am still down heavily, 22.9. Past 3 months is 23% down. Year to date, I'm still down 27%, which is insane. And then the past year, of course, I'm still up 28%. And of all time, I am up 327%, which is down a lot from where I was before. Robinhood's not showing it, but my all-time high was actually 305. It was over 600% return, but it is what it is. So just a couple things that I wanted to talk about before we get to kind of what my goals are, not just for my account, but for my channel and whatnot, short-term goals. Some things that I want to talk about on X. If you guys don't follow me yet, this is my username, danstradingco. My website is also danstradingco.com. There's not much on my website. It's just a way to support me as of right now, but we'll get to my goals later on in this video. But I did make this post about 21 hours ago about this new feature on Robinhood. So for select users, I believe, on certain stocks, Robinhood is actually rolling out this financials tab, or I don't know if you call it a tab, but basically it's just a quarterly and annual visualization of some metrics like I'm assuming this is the income statement. So this is just a very small test, I assume, that they're doing, because there's no balance sheet, there's no anything else. But I actually think this is really cool because any of you guys that use X, you'll know that there's a lot of these pages that do these really cool visualizations, not just because they're visually cool to look at, but it's a lot easier to digest than looking at financial statements all the time. But if they can somehow make this something like a paid platform, and I know what you guys are thinking, why not just include this with gold or whatever, but Robinhood Gold needs to stay at the basic $5 a month, very broad, something that casual users of the app won't mind having, and casual users of the app will also find use out of. Instead of constantly hiking the price of base gold, constantly releasing new features, and alienating that casual audience that just wants the basic Robinhood Gold features, like a high interest rate. They want a 0% margin on the first 1,000. They want that gold card. They just want the basics, right? Robinhood banking, etc. Not everybody wants these like very technical, fundamental analysis types of features. But if you can make it as like an add-on to gold, it's a way to increase the price of gold for users that will actually use it, and also obviously increasing the revenue of Robinhood and increasing their net income, cash flow, whatnot, their growth. So I think this is really cool. I think they could easily go into the Robinhood settings and do like attachments. I don't know what other brokers call it, but I know like E-Trade, for example, if you want real-time data, you can go to subscriptions and then pay extra for like whatever data. TradingView, for example, you can go pick and choose the subscriptions that you want, the data that you want specifically. So I think that would be really cool for Robinhood. If you can go into the gold settings, have it be like its own subscription tab, and then maybe for like an extra $5 or $10 a month, users can have access to all the financials of each company, and they can pick and choose a filter right? A stock filter, kind of like what I have on my Google spreadsheet, what I showed you guys in my last late night sessions. It would be so much cooler and more organized if I could just have it in the app. I could pick and choose the metrics that I want, like on my spreadsheet, and then Robinhood can just filter out stocks, look for new opportunities, stuff like that. Or you can pick and choose the metrics that you want to keep track of on the stocks, right, that you actually follow. So instead of constantly scrolling through all this mess when you're on each stock, you can just have the metrics that you care about up at the top, and then you can decide, do I want to buy more of this? Do I want to cool off right now because the stock is running hot? I think that'd be really cool. Everything is integrated on the app. I don't have to go to my Google spreadsheet. I don't have to do any of that. And I would definitely be willing to pay, an extra $5, an extra $10 a month, just to have that feature, right? And I think a lot of other people would. But at the same time, you're not alienating the casual audience that just wants that $5 a month basic Robinhood Gold. They just want Robinhood banking and basic, the IRA match, Roth IRA. They just want the basics. So you're not excluding those people, but you're also constantly innovating and providing more features for those that are willing to pay extra. And another thing that I wanted to do very quickly was just flex on all the covered call bros out here. So I know there's a lot of you guys that are new, and one of the things that attracts a lot of young, newer investors is selling options, because like the idea of selling options on stocks that you already want to pay for a lifestyle that you want to live, whether it's like traveling or just being able to not rely on your job, that idea is very appealing, and it definitely was when I was younger. But sometimes the best way to sell options is not constantly selling covered calls every single month and treating it like it's a paycheck, right? Like for example, my Palantir position, I only had 200 shares. I should have bought a lot more, but I only had 200 shares. I've been selling covered calls on that balance, and recently, this past Friday, both of my covered calls came to their expiration dates. One of them expired worthless, and the other one I got assigned on. The reason why I say treating covered calls like a paycheck is not always the best idea is because of the main reason being it caps your upside. So my Palantir initial investment on 200 shares at around like $17 a share, so give or take a few cents, was about $34, so $3,434. That was my initial investment into Palantir, and then I pulled $6,000 in option premium income, and then obviously half of that Palantir got called away, and I got another 10K. So $3,434 turned into 16K that I was able to pull out of Palantir, and I still have 100 shares. So keep that in mind, guys. Sometimes, delaying gratification, not immediately rushing to sell covered calls, sometimes that pays off in the future, right? Because when Palantir was going up to like 70, 100, 130, I could have been selling covered calls and capping my upside. But I decided to hold off a little bit. And even though I did sell a deep in the money covered call, I still made a tremendous profit on it, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Sometimes you just got to pay attention to what stage of the market cycle we're in. Is this a good time to sell covered calls? Maybe not treating it like a paycheck right now will pay off in the future. So you just got to keep stuff like that in mind. I was able to turn basically $3,000 into $16,000, and I still have 100 shares of Palantir. So, all right, so now we're gonna get to the main topic of the video, which is goals. And the first thing I want to address is the 10K that I pulled from Palantir that is now in my buying power. In my previous couple videos, I've been asking you guys to tell me, what should I do with it? Should I go for things that are beaten down right now, which might be a good idea, stuff like crypto, stuff like software stocks, fintech stocks, right? Stuff that's beaten down right now and have already crashed, right? I know last year I was saying for the longest, the market might not be as good as it was the past few years. When Robinhood was at 150, Palantir was 200. I got a little bit of hate for it, but it seems like that crash, it obviously came because Robinhood is down like what, 50% or more than 50%. Palantir down a lot, so definitely some sort of a crash has happened. Software stocks are in a bear market right now. Stocks like Adobe can't catch a break. Big tech is down a lot right now. So it does seem like some sort of a crash has happened. And I was asking you guys, should I trade stuff that's beaten down right now for the long term, or should I go for like more trading, which would be futures, index options, stuff like that. But as I was looking at the NASDAQ, it kind of has me worried, and I don't know if I want to trade futures right now. I know I still need to get to it, because trading futures is one of those things that I have done in the past, but I don't feel like I've really like conquered it. I don't feel like I've really mastered it, if that makes any sense. So it's another thing that I want to get to. But looking at the NASDAQ, it does have me kind of worried because even though big tech, crypto, software stocks, fintech stocks have all come down a lot, the major indices haven't. So the Dow, I'm sure you guys all saw that meme of Pam Bondi talking about the Dow hitting 50K. It's a funny meme, but it is true that the major indices are near all-time highs. The NASDAQ is down a little bit, but the S&P 500 is close to all-time highs. The Dow is close to all-time highs. But the NASDAQ does have me kind of worried, along with the major indices, and I'll show you guys why. So right now, we've been chopping around for a long time, right? But down here at around 500, we do have a gap. So if we enter a bear market on the major indices, rather than just select sectors of the economy and the market, that's about a 18% drop, which is almost bear market territory from here. And from all-time highs, or I assume this is all-time highs, I'm not sure, but from the recent highs, that's a 22% drop, which would put us in that correction bear market territory, right? It's a healthy pullback for the next wave up, but it will be painful. So it does kind of have me worried. I was considering maybe shorting, but shorting the major indices is not always a good idea, because for the most part, I would say QQQ and the NASDAQ just go up over time. But keep that in mind, guys. We could enter a bear market, go down 20%, fill that gap at 500, maybe sometime within the next 2 years, right? It's definitely a possibility. So I definitely want to get into a more active trading, like with index options and futures, but it's just one of the things that I've been a little bit cautious of, right? The major indices kind of worry me, but other things like I said, software stocks, big tech, crypto, fintech, stuff like that has been beaten down, and I think it's interesting. So I am still debating in my head what to do with that 10K, but maybe the best thing to do is nothing for right now. If the market goes down even more and it pulls down software stocks, crypto, fintech even more, big tech even more, then maybe that would be an even better buying opportunity. But maybe I'll just sit on that 10K just for the moment, right? I'm not in a rush to do anything. I'm not in a rush to be a millionaire, even though I would like to be, right? I'm trying to get to that milestone as fast as I can, but I'm not in a rush to blow up my account. But speaking of goals, now we're going to get to kind of what I would like to see in terms of like my channel, my website, whatnot. I'm thinking about eventually doing some kind of membership thing, possibly. This is most likely going to be in like the distant future, but I first want to be able to say that I've mastered like stock market investing, right? Like I would say, not to brag or anything, but I think I'm a pretty good stock picker, right? I've had success with, Robinhood, obviously, Palantir, SoFi, American Express, to a lesser extent, and obviously other stocks like Discover, EA. I've had plenty of my stock picks get bought out, so I would say that I'm a decent stock picker. And when it comes to selling options, trading options, I've showed you guys a lot of my success, leveraged ETFs. I haven't showed you guys my smaller E-Trade account as much, but most of you guys that have been with the channel a long time know that I've had ups and downs with that E-Trade account, right? I was trading options and leveraged ETFs. I went from 5K to 2.5K, and then I brought it back up to 6K right now. So, it's been a bumpy ride, but I would say that I'm an okay options seller. I could have done better with Robinhood, definitely. Right now, crypto is less than 1% of my net worth, and I was never super into it, but I'm trying to dabble more, especially right now when there's like a lot of fear in the crypto market. So crypto and futures are the two things that I kind of want to dabble in more. And then once I've had experience with all of these things, like, stock picking, options, crypto, futures, once I have a broad understanding of most of these things, then I think that it's a good time for me to do an actual membership thing so you guys can actually learn from me. But until then, I still want some more experience with crypto and futures. And maybe that sounds dumb for some of you guys, because I know there's a lot of influencers out there, a lot of gurus that basically fake it. They'll have some screenshots on Instagram or whatever, and they'll sell you this dream, their lifestyle, and they'll start selling a bunch of courses. But I'm not really like that. I want to genuinely be able to say that I have experience with all these things and I've had success with all of it before I do anything like a membership, stuff like that. So that is kind of like my longer term goal outlook. But some shorter term goals that I have here on my website is the best way that you guys can support the channel as of right now. I don't have YouTube monetization yet, but if you guys want a comment spotlighted, you guys can click up here at the top. It'll take you to buy me coffee, and then you can do Apple Pay, $3 to have your comment spotlighted. Or down here, we have some crypto options, right? So you can just pick whichever one you want. You can send me USDC or Solana on Solana, or you can do Ethereum USDC or Ethereum on my Ethereum wallet, or XRP if you're into that. But as of right now, my short-term goal is $10 on Buy Me a Coffee. And then once that $10 hits, I think that's when they do direct deposit into my Robinhood banking. So I'm trying to test out the Robinhood banking direct deposit thing, whatever. And honestly, I'm too lazy to put my own paycheck into Robinhood as of right now, because I already have it with SoFi. I don't want to go through all that all over again. But I still want to test it out. So I think $10 is the goal for Buy Me a Coffee, and then it'll trigger that direct deposit. And obviously, I have a little bit of ETH that a supporter sent me. Shout out to you once again, my very first actual supporter of the channel. But I have a goal of 1 full Ethereum coin. And then Solana, maybe around like 10 Solana for a goal, and then just 10 for USDC. But my main goal right now is $10 and Buy Me a Coffee. You could do that through Apple Pay, and then like 1 full Ethereum coin. But just for you guys, I know I said I was only gonna read like spotlighted comments, but I've been getting a lot lately, so I'm just gonna like quickly go through them. We got T, yeah, my very first supporter of the channel, saying, I'm excited you check this out. Hope, love the input. I agree that we're being sold hope at top dollar. Always learn a lot from these vids. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it. Have you heard of the Buffett indicator? Yes, and I know it's been saying for like the past 50 years that we're overvalued. So it's not really the best indicator that I follow. We got King Timmy saying, I'm a longtime viewer, updated my profile. I'm the guy with 1,500 shares of Hood, now 1,600. Was running a premium strategy, ended up closing my Hood hedge, made 1,500. That's pretty good. Something in me doesn't want to sell at 75. Yeah, so I think a fair price for Robinhood is 100. I know that's still down 33% from all-time highs, which is 150. But still, I think 100 is like a fair, quote unquote, fair value for Robinhood stock. But we got Tia once again saying 10 or 5% of the 10K in crypto. Yeah, so crypto, like I said, crypto and futures are the two things that I kind of want more experience with first, before I can confidently say within myself that I have a lot of experience in the markets, right? Like I said, tons of success and experience with stock picking and options. But yeah, crypto and futures are on my to-do list. We got Predictive Neo saying gamble. No. Well, I mean, the markets in a way are gambling, but Predictive Neo once again saying, yeah, this feels like the best time to buy since sentiment is down. In time, we'll see what turns out to be a good investment. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Appreciate the comments, Predictive Neo. We got Nathan saying, what are your thoughts on metals? You know, anytime I get comments like these, it's usually like an indicator. So, you know, if crypto is popping off, like back when XRP and Bitcoin were going to the moon, I remember getting a ton of comments saying, why not BTC? Why not XRP? Or what are your thoughts on XRP? So I think these types of comments, I'm not saying it's a bad comment, Nathan. I appreciate the comment, but they're kind of like an indicator for me. So right now metals are popping off. So I tend to get a lot of comments regarding metals, but not a lot of comments surrounding crypto, right? So if sentiment is down in one area, it's possibly, you know, a buying opportunity. We got Millions and Trillions saying, yo, your next vid, Mr. Beast with a Drake thumbnail, see how many views it gets. Nah, I'm gonna try to stay away from that.